when you are watching this, we have passed 2020. So this video is about looking back at 2020, some of the things that I've learned along the way, and kind of reflecting and then looking forward to 2021. So 2020 started just like any other year. I was very optimistic about the year, being that it was gonna be the year of the rat in the lunar calendar, in the Chinese calendar, and it was my year. So I was very hopeful and positive as I started 2020. Did some celebration at the end of it with families, and then, during the Chinese New Year, get a chance to celebrate again with my friends, which is an annual event that I do. But as we were going and throughout those period of time at the beginning from January up to around February time frame, there were news about things that was happening in China. This phenomena, this virus, this pandemic that was happening in China, that I could not imagine that it would affect me, living halfway around the world. It was one of those things. The first event that happened was my son's Chinese school. Back in early February, decided to stop in-person class and go full remote. Honestly speaking, at that point in time, I thought that was overreacting. That was my first thought of it. We were just overreacting to it. But looking back, I think that was a wise choice that the Chinese school did, making that decision early on to go remote. And then, as we know it, we were all pretty much kind of, went into this mode of being isolated, being alone, being in our own family, being in a house and not going anywhere. It started to look bleak for me, really dark for me at one point, knowing that my adventure had ended and I was looking for a new adventure. So 2020 wasn't too bad. As I sit now, as I look back into 2020, it was a year that said make me grow, and I think most of us had grown through it, realizing a lot of things that that is important for us, which is the people in our lives, which is our families, our loved ones, our kids. Those are the people that we should be focusing on. And the word here is people, focusing on the people. So just like anything else, I think that's part of me is knowing that, and the key thing is taking care of the people is always being number one for me in an organization. So not that I have a direct impact on people, but hopefully I leave some help along the way for those that needed it. So I would say that I had been lucky in 2020, unlike a lot of people that had lost their job and where financially they took a downturn. I was spared from it. I would say that financially it took some toll on me, but luckily we were able to sustain it and be able to figure out and found a new adventure for myself. And that felt like a big relief. And the nice thing about that was that this new adventure felt like something that I had felt a long time ago when I was working with Josh Anderson and of course Bob Galen at that time in my early careers in my Agile careers journey. And it had that excitement, that ability to learn, ability to grow in this journey. And I sense that. So one of the things as I look into this new adventure, I realized that the words that I've used was pretty much I'm among giants. Giants as in people around me are all so advanced, so good, so matured in their agile journey that I'm grateful for, that it's going to help me in my journey. And this is one of the things that I've learned. I learned to look for is the places where I can grow, I can continue to grow, to be challenged to be better. And it has been a while since I felt that way. And so it felt really good to finally find a place that I would see that I can further grow. So from that standpoint, I'm among giants. Like I said, it's good to be standing among giants, to learn from them, and then to have the support to continue on in my journey as a person, as an agilist, in my career as well. Well, I learned also there was a missing connection in 2020 for me, and I believe for most of us as well, is that the people connection. Being an introvert, I did not expect this. What I did felt was that I lost this true sense of being this face-to-face, being in person in the office, and having that environment, to now being in this environment, in this office that I made for myself, and it's very isolating, to the point that I think we had to relearn how to work, relearn how to do work, and what is the meaning of work. So the advancements of tools like Zoom had definitely helped a lot. One of it is the realization that I need to make sure that I have time between my Zoom calls to make sure that I can go do some small things like pee, take a break, take a drink, things like that I don't think of when I was at work. But it's kind of weird that we're all Zoom out because we have meetings back to back to back. All right, so that's the new way of life, the new way of work. With this new way of work also is that realization, kind of just looking on the broad spectrum, that there are companies that are shining and there are companies that are struggling. The ones that are shining today are the ones that are looking into the future of work. They were already in preparation or halfway through the providing capabilities to do remote work. And those are the companies that pretty much got a step up because they were ahead of other companies, companies that were not for remote working, they were not used, they don't have the technology, or they did not invest in those things. So looking at the future, so the companies that were then now forced to do it, it is the tipping point in my mind for this new work, this new capabilities, new remote work, a new way of connecting. And with that also, it opens up a lot of possibilities. The possibilities of being connected, more connected than ever before. Before it will take some time for me to get somewhere. I will have to hop on the plane to get the connections. Now we're all almost on the same playing field because all of us individually are on the same playing field. We're on the same camera. We're on the same screen, right? So that allows us to reach more people. So I'm part of the ALN in the RTP area where we have a lot of in-person meeting before. Now that we're all remote, we're actually now able to get more people to come join in, right? So the hassle of traveling is gone. You kind of just turn it on and you're there. So to get a little bit more leeway in the spread and the more people joining in. I think that's a better way of saying it. Yes, I'm not sure I'm gonna have a word for that, right? I think the connectiveness, the expansion of the impact is wider now. So for this channel, for this YouTube channel, 2020 growth was in terms of experimentation. So early on March, I had the luxury of doing an experiment, which is a daily vlog for about 40 days, creating daily videos, daily content for 40 days. And it had helped me get my content to be delivered in a shorter form. So I was able to get more efficient with producing shorter videos. But I think I'm now on the other side of it where I feel like it is less effective I'm not sure if that's the case, but I would love to hear from you guys if that's the case or not. So trying to rein it in a little bit more, stay more focused on the why and the intent behind all my videos that I do. Now the overall goal is continue to provide help, nuggets, anything that will help you that are watching this video move an extra step in your journey as you're watching some of my content. The other part of 2020 was in terms of confirmation, reaffirmation that for me to be good at something, I have to put the hours in. The case in point, the video, the vlog, the daily vlog forces me to put in a lot more time to it. And anything else, in terms of being much more effective in storytelling, just putting the time in is that, and as the saying goes, to be an expert, you had to put in like 20,000 hours, right? So those are the things that become more apparent to me, more reaffirming that is indeed true, that we have to put in the time. So some of the highlights in terms of my agile journey and what I've learned in 2020 is Nemawashi, is the 70-20-10 format rule, it's fractals, and a couple more things in there. And those are the three things that jump to my mind for right now. And also I was able to complete, you can say they get certified in coaching, which I was able to finish my ICP ACC certification class. So that was a big thing for me. So moving forward for 2021, what am I looking forward to? I would say, one, looking forward to seeing that everybody get vaccinated. That's a plus, that we all get this COVID-19 behind us, right? And that all of us stay healthy, and that we have great opportunity moving forward. So 2021 for me is continue to learn, continue to be better at my storytelling, to better deliver content to you that makes sense. So with that, 2021, I'm experimenting with a new series. It will be called Curious Conversation. So this is a series of more of a conversation or interviews with folks where I highlight the ideas that they have and what they bring to the table, in the hope that my curiosity of asking and learning will help you to gain something from it. So that's the whole thing behind this Curious Conversation that's coming up. So be on the lookout for the video coming out in a series called Curious Conversations. If you haven't subscribed, this is a great time to subscribe, and then hit the bell notification so that way you get notified when those videos come out. Also, it will help me greatly if you subscribe. One of the goals I'm trying to get to is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So the other thing to look for in 2021 for me is to try and get better at scaling Agile. So in a sense, getting certified in, or getting the practitioner certification or classes in Scrum at Scale. So that's something I'm looking forward to, and hopefully I'll get to achieve that. So on a side note, in terms of delivering YouTube video content, the people that I look up to, that I watch constantly and pull ideas from, Jin Nagara, Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat, Dan Mays, Maddie Hopoya, Sarah Dici. Well, if you guys, if you just happen to hear this message, I would appreciate a tip to how can I get better in terms of delivering content and telling stories, and providing some better way of connecting with my audience. That would be awesome if you could do that. It could be just a simple things for me to experiment with. Other than that, bye.